Hello, welcome back to the Agony booth. We are doing twice a month other shows to kind of keep you abreast of to what we do here in the Captains Quadrant, other than what we talk about in current Trek. It is so good to see all of you tonight, and we are honored to have Jesse from one of the best named podcasts. And I'd like you to say it because I want to hear the oomph that you bring to it. So please tell everyone the name of your podcast.
My podcast is the Gaily Planet, which I am still shocked that no one has taken.
I can't believe it either. Love.
So good. Thank God, everyone who didn't think of that first. So
yeah.
And we, me and my co-host, are watching The Next Generation from the first episode and analyzing it in a humorous yet ruthless fashion.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
You guys don't know anything about that at all.
Well, we are excited to hop into a Holly Mack chosen episode for this week called Hollow Pursuits.
Oh, sorry, I just got a shiver.
And we're going to start it off with the synopsis. Yes, Jason, I made the synopsis this week. I did it.
Hold up. Okay.
All right, we're ready?
Yeah.
There you go.
I have to get close to the screen because I can't see anymore. A shy member of the Enterprise crew becomes addicted to the holodeck, where relationships are easier than in real life when his knowledge is needed in engineering. And you are leaving out a lot of gross details, but okay.
Well, it's PG-13, right? All right. WTF did we just watch?
Watching this episode is
all right, Jason, kick us off, please.
Oh my gosh, you were going to start with me. You just want to hear the bile I'm about to vomit. Okay, listen. So, we got a visitor. Is he here?
Let's see if you go ahead while they.
So, my thoughts on Hollow Pursuits. Now, I know a lot of people have very fond memories of this episode because it did introduce Reginald Barclay, who was a terrific recurring character, both in this show and on Star Trek Voyager. He was nuanced. He was fascinating. He was kind of like an everyman whenever he was on those other shows. Greetings, sir.
Welcome. You made it.
I love to, make an entrance.
Apparently.
Stressed.
So anyway, this was basically a guy with anxiety, which at the time being portrayed, anxiety, especially in the 24th century, very progressive. And in most episodes, it was presented very well. One of my favorite Barclay episodes is actually Realm of Fear, where he's afraid to get in the transporter. I love that episode. This episode, though, this episode is not it. This episode showed me that the Enterprise D was basically an HR violation that travels at warp. Because not only does Reginald Barclay exhibit very problematic and gross behavior, but it seems like to me the entire Enterprise staff just, I don't know, took stupid pills that morning and just left all of their professionalism in bed. You got mean nicknames. You've got, I don't know. It's just, you have people putting up with things that quite frankly should have gotten Barclay kicked off the ship the second that it happened. But in all fairness, Geordi should have been kicked off the ship too.
I was going to say, this is like a follow-up to Geordi's.
Because Geordi basically covers for him whenever he goes into the holodeck and sees that Barclay has created these holographic duplicates of the entire crew to basically work out his frustration on, including Dr. Crusher and Counselor Troy, who are both in extremely seductive characters. And also Wesley Crusher, who is a literal child at this point, a literal underage child. The fact that this man has created these fantasy versions of these people on the holodeck to play with is, to me, gross. I could not get on Barclay's side this entire time. And when Geordi comes in and covers for him, I'm thinking, oh, of course, Geordi did the gross thing too. And I know that this was what, 1990, 1991 when this episode came out. I know,
1990.
yeah, I know that this was before AI became problematic, and maybe that is what is changing my opinion. Because I didn't dislike this episode, but at the same time, I was not a fan of it. But this last time I watched it, I just thought, wow, this has not aged well. Because with AI and duplicating people's voice and things of that nature, there was this big deal where Grok was like people are using, I think it was Grok, was using AI to basically unclothe people.
It was Grok.
Yeah.
I just saw this episode as almost overnight becoming gross. And I know I keep using that word, but that's the only word I could think of for this, is just gross. And not only that, but this showed that you can be a person with anxiety on the Enterprise and you don't fit in until you become useful.
Mm.
And then I feel like I'm monopolizing, so I'm going to step back and let somebody else. I have thoughts about this episode. Very violent, extremely disagreeable thoughts.
So
Jesse,
for me, it's interesting because I have anxiety and like ADHD. So like, there's a lot of this episode where I'm like, wow, I totally relate to being like, I think my coworkers hate me and I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job and I need to just like disassociate into like my fantasy realm. But I will say the like deeply creepy like way that like Crusher and Troy are in like his holodeck fantasy is like very much like if I was Troy and I walked in on that and I'm like, this dude is doing the weirdest, freakiest shit to like my hologram like avatar. And like, again, this shit needs both OSHA, HIPAA, and HR, especially in this episode. And it's just like, not just real bad. Part is real bad.
We have a wonderful guest with us, and we'd like you to introduce yourself and then tell us what you thought. WTF did we just watch? What did we just watch?
Oh, me? Hi.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, so I'm Lark. I'm the other half of #Ruthless. I love this episode. I think that thinking about it from a like now standpoint with AI and all of that does maybe change how I think about it. But for me, I feel like when I'm watching it, I'm just seeing the holodeck as a like stand-in for maladaptive daydreaming. So I'm not really thinking about it from the standpoint of like the technology or whatever. It's just like this is what it's like in the brain of someone like Barclay, and he doesn't have a lot of say in that at this point in his life. And so this is just like a way for us to see what's going on with him internally, as opposed to thinking about the holodeck from a like, you're recreating your coworkers, whatever. Because I also, even from that standpoint, do agree with Geordi that what he does in there is private and that no one else should ever have been able to find out. Like he has experienced a massive privacy violation and that they're able to see what he's up to in the holodeck because it's none of their business. And if it stayed his, then like it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything,
Interesting. Jason, looks like you were going to say something.
I was scratching my nose.
Oh, okay. Here I thought you were going to lay some profound.
No. Does the holodeck even come with a lock though?
That's what I was going to say, because I think all the doors kind of open on their own. So I don't think it's like a structure where it's completely sealed off. And when you're doing your thing in the holodeck, it's sealed off. So nobody can experience your experience.
For an environment that's sealed off, people barge into it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You could put a little chain lock on that thing, and it would just kind of, and you just have Riker looking through the crack, going, "What are you doing in there?"
I feel like something that Jesse and I talk a lot about on our show is that if you are able to just go in there when someone's in there, the program should just end. like immediately, which might be
Sure.
awkward if you're naked, but like at least no one
God,
can
it
see what
doesn't.
you're doing naked, you know?
Mr. Barclay, where are your pants?
Exactly.
Especially because like
with the doctor.
this is such a nightmare scenario where it's like you're working through your issues with your coworkers, and then they're like looking into your like innermost fantasy world, which is a thing that I don't even necessarily want my close people that I'm close to know, but my like deepest fantasies, let alone my coworkers who I like have really complex feelings about.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, this is a nightmare for everyone involved. Truly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially for Barclay's vision. I want to say hello to the person that put this on the wheel of agony, Holly Mac 79, or actually 7779. A whole training day and what not to do, and all of their holodeck privileges revoked.
Mr. LaForge, rip that bloody room out of this ship. I'm so sick of it. It's always trying to kill us every other week.
I ain't done yet says, and of course, Christopher. Now I don't have my glasses, so I'll be squinting a lot during this episode. Please don't mind me. Hollow Pursuits pretty much sums up Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek of today. I don't know if I agree with that at all, but I let people have their little podium. So
they're welcome to have their opinion, and my opinion on that opinion is
yes. So this episode, though an HR nightmare, I understand the perspective of Barclay being socially awkward. Everybody goes through that in life, and there's ways to deal with it. Obviously, that's one of the ways to deal with it. Well, this seems far more professional and less profanity. Our good buddy talking to me, the original co-host of the channel here and the producer that makes this all look pretty. We also thank him. So good to see you, sir. And fun fact, he's all the way from Australia. So I love that. He's got a great
really.
Yeah, did you know that? I always thought he was from Chicago too.
I always thought that was just like a Midwestern thing.
Nope, all the way from
You
there.
want to go get some chase from
much different time zone than
Yeah.
Yep. Go to
I think-
sleep, Jace. Go to sleep.
I think it's lunchtime or something like that. Yeah, it'd be lunchtime. Yeah.
Lunchtime tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, he's the future man. Yeah, the social awkwardness, I get it, but the stake of the B plot was very low. Like, hey, the stuff that we beamed on the ship that everybody keeps dropping. It seems like every time somebody brought, oh, you dropped the thing that's leaking the acid that's going to cause the ship to explode. Every time that somebody walked in with, oh no, it's like, can we get somebody with stable hands? Because it's like almost caused them to rip apart.
And everyone's so cavalier about it, and it's just like, what?
I
This
love
is a
that they keep
biohazard.
testing it with the shit still on there. They're like,
I loved that bit at the end when the Enterprise is literally tearing itself apart, and they're just like, "We have 5 minutes to save the ship. Come on, everyone, let's go."
Yeah,
I forgot my glasses. Hold on. Can we stop by the Mr. machine on the way to engineering?
oh man.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm just like, where are your safety protocols ever? It's like, oh, turns out we touched the thing and then touched everything else, and the ship is falling apart. And I'm like, what?
It's like, don't you have like retrospective historical events like, the Spanish flu for sure, and then COVID? Like cross-contamination was everywhere.
Not only that, the only reason why they didn't know it was there was because their sensors don't scan for a substance that can literally melt I almost said the F word, the freaking ship.
Yeah.
Why?
are we not allowed to say that? Because that is good information to have.
He can't.
I self-censor myself because I like getting paid at my job.
Yes.
But
You guys can go fuckity fuck.
Why?
So you're good.
Why does the ship not scan for things that can blow it up? And it happens later on when disaster, when the Enterprise hits the quantum filament, and there's just, what happened? We hit this thing that our sensor can't detect that can destroy us.
And
why don't the sensors see it? It's like, yeah, I could walk outside today and get my throat slit by a sword that appears out of nowhere that I won't see. My good question is, why can't I see that thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk around it.
I know. No one's even ever wearing gloves or just like any kind of PPE, and I'm like,
This is an ocean nightmare. Like, I'm surprised they could shut the ship down. This is an ocean nightmare.
Yeah, the B plot wouldn't even exist if it's just like you just had like even like 5 safety protocols about like what is going on.
Exactly.
I would just like to have had one competent officer just sitting there the whole time going, "What do you mean? You guys handled this and you weren't wearing gloves? Wait, there's no lock on the holodeck, and it can recreate living people?
Yeah,
it's a different ship.
Why are we walking while the ship is falling apart?" I think that was Dwight Schultz contract. Is that I don't run.
Yeah, after the A team, no more running for this baby.
Same. I am the same way. I don't run because my boots jiggle.
I'm pretty sure that I just do the bike. I can't do the running.
My
okay, knees
so get a bike and bike through the corridors and go.
Hold on.
Honestly, that would be really efficient.
That would be. That would be. Or some segues. That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Right. They have like a hover bike. Like, what are you guys doing? Walking like chumps? No.
Was this the first time that we saw hover anything? Because I never recall anything hovering in Star Trek. It was like Back to the Future.
That was before CGI. That stuff costs money.
That's
here's our big special effect of the episode. Enjoy it, everyone. It goes downhill from here.
Because I was like, oh wow, they're doing the Marty McFly hoverboard here. This is awesome. Like, because I don't remember that. It was just, I just remember the liquid coming. I was like, what was the liquid? I can't remember. And as I was watching it, I was like, what was that stuff? And then they put the light on and goes, oh, it's purple. It's like, oh, that can't be good.
Our ship is being destroyed by purple.
It's purple glitter.
I had to pause the episode to like pull up a GIF of like the end of The Little Mermaid when Ariel walks out of the sea after Triton's given her like her magical legs dress, and I was like, it's the same. Like, to my husband, I was like, it's the same purple, it's the same sparkle. We have to watch a GIF for side by side comparison. He's got the Little Mermaid.
There it is. It's the same purple. It's that. It's destroying the whole ship. It's destroying everything.
Periwinkle
effect of the episode. Enjoy it, everyone.
Yeah.
But it was Ursula all along.
And it also reminded me of like those forensic files because they had to like shine the light on him, and it's like, all right, Barclay, he was in that holodeck for a long time. It was gonna be all blue. Well, I was like, oh no, don't go there.
Mr. Barclay, stay off the holodeck.
Stay off the holodeck.
Also, I feel like everyone was like real mean. I'm like,
oh,
why are you being such an asshole? So like, what? Like, I'm like, what? What is going on with you?
Even Wesley.
Yeah, calling him broccoli.
No, well, maybe the problem is this. No, it wouldn't be that stupid.
Yeah. Wes is pretty ruthless. Yeah.
He was like peak, like, I'm the smartest guy here right now, actually. And I'm like, Wes, just tone it down, actually.
Wesley, he's being territorial.
Extremely 17. Yeah, like extremely 17-year-old behavior.
For sure. Before we move on, our good friend and co-host with the most, Jason has another comment for us, and he says, I work with idiots. Really appreciate that, Jason. You'll be on the show tomorrow, buddy. Hi, everyone else.
Yep, and he joins us every week anyway.
Yep, he loves us.
Can really feel the love here is what I can.
Yeah. So surprise. I had issues with Starfleet Academy this week. Expect some of me ranting again. So tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun.
I haven't been that surprised since the sun came up this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if you would like to like me not on the show cussing, I'm spoiling your fun. Let Joe know, and I will go on my Outback Shack and not spoil your fun. He has to go wrestle those big spiders. Being in Australia, he's got the flamethrower and like a huge cigar. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow. We're live 9:00 tomorrow, Friday, to talk about the latest episode of Starfleet Academy, which I haven't seen yet. So don't say
no spoilers, please.
Okay. Excellent. We're all on the same page here. Okie dokie. Again, Holly Mack, thank you for putting us on there. She is our Transgressor Patreon, and you also can become a Patreon. You can just simply go and hang out with us in the Patreon by clicking that QR code. Put it over your phone. Just click that little thing, and you can be immersed in all the wondrous things that are available on our Patreon, like Star Trek Starship ratings and a bunch of other fun things. And you can choose an episode for us to agonize through. My friends, let us move on to why would they do that? life would not be fun without a little bit of potty humor. I was
Another OSHA violation right there.
Yeah, it was like,
Truly.
should you be touching stuff like that? Klingon.
Funny, you said, should I be touching things like that? And I'm just picturing Jordy go, well, he fell down.
So I don't think so. No, my favorite bumper. Yeah, that's a good one. So let us start with Lark. What's going on? Why would they make this episode? Why would they do these things?
I mean, I'm not the right person to start with because I, again, think this episode is great. I think it's really funny. I think it's really charming. I think
interesting.
Like, I mean, as a extremely awkward autistic person, like you give me a meme about Barclay being relatable, I'm sharing it. So like, I'm like, yeah, bro, for sure. I feel like one of the notes that I took was like, the only thing that makes me have better people skills than Barclay at a party is that I don't have to be in a Starfleet uniform. So like I can look like a cool guy when I'm in the corner and people think I'm being aloof. And then I trick them into wanting to talk to me. And then I have a friend in the corner. So like, I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, man, it's hard. And like, you're around all of these like successful, smart, funny, interesting people. And like, you know that you're capable of stuff, but every time you're put in the position to like do your like, you know, perform or whatever, you're like so anxious that you can't, you know, he's in Starfleet. He has this job. It's clear from the end of this episode that he is actually very good at this job, but like he's getting in his own way so much because of mental illness, which like who doesn't? And so like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I find you really relatable. And also I think that there's something really nice about the show being like, what if we helped? Like, what if we actually helped this person be here and present and like do the job that they're capable of doing? It's very, I find it very inspiring. I find it very like, oh, this is what community care looks like, is being like, hey, our coworker is struggling and we don't really like him, but like he lives at work like we all do, and he deserves to feel at home and comfortable here and like to be able to do his job to the best of his ability. And then they make it possible for him to do that. And I think that's great. I think we need that now more than we did in the 90s, maybe.
Yeah, this episode definitely feels like someone processing their anxiety, but it's 1990, so maybe they can't just be like, wow, having anxiety at work is a struggle. So
I mean, I read that the writer was like, that allegory about like talking to the plant at the party is like from a joke that my wife and I tell about me. Like this is definitely the writer making this because he's like, hey, what if someone like me was actually able to like feel seen and heard and respected and have friends? Which like, yes.
Jesse.
Yeah, I think this is, again, yeah, someone working through their sort of, what if someone had anxiety on the on the Enterprise, on a starship, which is obviously kind of a bummer to be like, wow, you guys are in space in the future and you have space socialism, but you don't have space Xanax or like, you know,
pills
or like awareness about like having anxiety, because everyone's just like, wow, this guy sucks, and I'm like, he is just full of anxiety and probably has ADHD. Like, it's all like, come on, y'all.
Yeah,
the rest of y'all are very autistic. Like, what is happening here? Yeah. Why is this a surprise?
Jason.
Okay. So yeah, I think the intention to do something good and progressive was there, but I think at the end of the day, one of my biggest problems with this, my first biggest problem with this episode is, of course, the grossness on the holodeck. The fact that, to me, and as somebody else who suffers from anxiety and who is heavily medicated for it, I feel like Barclay's anxiety was just mined. It was spectacle for this episode, and it feels like to me it was mined for comedy more than anything else, because you got those creepy fantasy tropes. You have what is basically workplace harassment in many situations, which I think that they just completely glossed over. And then at the end, it was, well, Barclay's proven himself useful. Lesson learned. That's it. So we're going to tolerate this guy's existence now because he knows how to fix a flux capacitor. He knows where to find purple, destroying the ship.
I found the purple.
It still is not connected to the sensors. I really hope that they fix that. And
am I allowed to talk during your part? Because I don't think that's why they accept it. I do. Because I don't think it has anything to do with him like proving himself useful. I think it's that he is able to like show up with his full capabilities and like be present, and they're like, hey man, nice to meet you, how's it going? And he's like, oh look, if I'm actually fully here, people will like talk to me and care about me. And then goes and deletes his holo programs because he doesn't need that crutch anymore. And I really don't think it like if he hadn't saved the day, he wouldn't have been accepted. It's more just that he like
if he hadn't saved the day, he'd have been in little teeny tiny pieces floating through.
Everybody would be we'd be space dust. Go ahead, Jason.
Now I will say I do give this episode credit because no matter how cringy I thought it was, it did introduce somebody who I think I really did identify with growing up, and who did become one of the more nuanced recurring characters in the show. And I think it's because in the future, they do treat Barclay with more compassion and more respect and more dimensionality. I just think that this episode is more of late 80s, early 90s progressivism done for the wrong reasons. And it kind of showed how we just treated awkward people back then, especially on television, because they were just there to laugh at, and I still feel echoes of that. But still, my major problem is the fact that Barclay was basically making sex puppets in the holodeck out of all the female characters, and maybe a few of the male characters. I don't know. We never really see what he's doing in there. I pity whoever cleaned out the biofilter in the holodeck. I pity it.
I will say,
poor ensign.
This thing has never been this clogged. What is going on in here?
Barclay, I got to ask you guys, because it slips my mind, but I thought I recalled an episode of Star Trek where somebody was in the holodeck and they could see what was going on from the side panel before they even opened the door. Is that just in my own headcanon? Or
no, you are correct. We just covered this episode. But it just says like the name of the program. So that's the episode where we first meet Kalar. So she goes and like is looking through past holo programs, and she finds like Worf workout number 2 or whatever, and is like, I'm going in, and we see like Picard's Dixon Hill one and like Pony Playtime one.
I'm just thinking Dixon Hill, Beowulf, Wolf Calisthenics, sex puppet. What the hell?
Oh no!
I'll save that one for later. Whatever.
They're all like censored. It's just like, oh, what is the Marquis de Sade program? What?
Oh no!
What?
No!
Running that one with the safeties off. I don't get it. Worf.
It is truly a challenge. One of the things Jace mentioned, what do you think a Klingon fart smells like? I think it's a mix of expired cottage cheese and regret. That akins back to
given that they have 2 of everything, I'm guessing it smells twice as bad.
I feel like considering their diet, it's probably like kind of like the worst cat fart you can ever imagine, because like they're mostly carnivores, right? Like,
yeah, they eat worms and then little snakes or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and because they got 2, it would literally be a foghorn. It'd be
oh wow.
I was literally just thinking about this. Do Klingons have 2 vaginas if you're a lady Klingon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's canon. It's been established. It's scientifically proven.
Yep. You get
God bless this weird show.
So Timmy, hey guys, when are you going to talk about the new episode started? I can't wait for the hot takes. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks, Timmy. That'll be tomorrow, 9:00. Thanks for joining us in the Agony booth, where we're having a blast talking about the past. That should be a shirt. I like that. I gotta clip that This is a
No.
note to myself.
Sounds like I just turned on the radio in the 80s. They're about to play like Rockin' Robin or something.
Yeah, the other thing about this episode is on the flip side, when he's having the issue with the other ensigns and Wesley's the one making fun of you, and we've gotten so many episodes of shut up Wesley. I just kind of felt like, wow, they like low-hanging fruit for Wesley to pick on somebody else that's socially awkward, and I kind of didn't appreciate that, because it's just like, yeah, let's just punch down further. It was that'll be Eastern time. That's Eastern or Pacific. Eastern time 9:00 Eastern. Yeah, that part kind of annoyed me because it's always the low guy pushing the lower guy. So punching down is, I think, never a really good way to kind of express stuff. It also was weird that Counselor Troy, and I find it to be the funny moment where he's kind of, we've established that he's an awkward kisser because I felt like his mouth was just over Troy's mouth in the worst way. There's nothing sexy about that at all. But when he's in the counselor's office and she's like, all right, now close your eyes, I'm gonna dim the lights, and he's like, oh no, my fantasies are coming true. It's like, no, don't go that route, buddy. I was just like, this is a recipe for disaster. And
yeah, it was definitely giving like, oh, I'm kind of afraid of girls and this is my worst nightmare.
yeah, exactly.
Truly, I will say, if a therapist, no matter the context, was like, okay, with no explanation of what we're about to do, close your eyes and I'm coming to sit next to you, I would be like, I too am leaving. What is happening right now?
It's like, this is not how these breathing exercises usually go.
Yeah, this is weird. Where the exits?
Super weird.
I need an adult. I need an
adult. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was awkward all around. But this is the introduction of Barclay, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yes.
Yes, Dwight Schultz, who was famous for being in the A-Team, which was a huge show in the 80s, with the unforgettable Mr. T and a crew of other MASH medleys. And I thought maybe this is a way to kind of uplift the ratings because he probably came with weighted star power for the show. So I thought it was an interesting way to utilize that kind of star power. So that's why they did that. And, I always felt his character was a little bit awkward on the A-Team as well. So I figured they utilized that ability of his to play the awkward gentleman to facilitate some comic relief. But I just think it didn't execute that well, in my humble opinion. What are you looking at me like that for? Or are you looking at your kids?
I wasn't looking at you. One of my kids said something. I was just like, go away. I thought I locked the door.
How do I still have you? All right. Well, we talked about WTF would they do it, and we talked about why they would do it. Well, let's talk about the good stuff. Or for you guys, the bad stuff. Flip it in its course. And we want to thank
I do have good stuff that we didn't actually end up talking about.
All right, so we'll make it all. We'll make it a rosy.
He's got a bumper that he really likes. So.
Yeah, I do.
Right, okay.
we love this one. Yes, redeeming features. If you guys are new to the channel, we appreciate you coming by. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We just spoke with the gentleman that was responsible for the makeup on that episode, who won an Emmy nonetheless, and that's Thomas Supron. And you can check out that interview on the channel or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you do not mind, please support him in his endeavors to kind of facilitate his next big move. And we're gonna get into the good stuff. And of course, thank you, Ensign, Synthetic Ensign, for the tunes that makes it copyright free. All right, we're gonna start with Jason. What are your redeeming features?
Okay, well, I've already said it did introduce Barclay, and it kind of established that, yeah, even if you have anxiety, even if you're a little awkward, even if you stammer, even if you feel like sometimes the only way you survive is avoidance, you still have a place in the 24th century. And it also did tackle mental health imperfectly, but it did it earnestly. So I've got to give it props for that. And the fact that it did also try to call out workplace mockery. I don't think it did it very successfully, but hearing Picard immediately correct himself after he accidentally let broccoli slip out of his mouth, I thought was kind of nice. Dwight Schultz always gives amazing performances as Barclay. I think that as an actor, to see somebody basically make themselves that vulnerable is always brave. And it ends with a message of inclusion. And I'm always for that. Like I said, if you have anxiety, if you are awkward, there's still a place for you, and that's an important message. Like I said, it is delivered imperfectly, but it is delivered, and I think that counts for something.
Okay. I just want to put in my favorite whole scene of this is when they go on the holodeck the second time, and we see the not midget, little person version of little person version of
Canceled.
of Riker, and Riker's just like two through. He's already through with Barclay, and then and Diana is like, "No, take it easy," and Riker's ready to cut the whole thing down. She's trying to walk him off the wall, and then all of a sudden we see Moon Goddess Diana Troy, and then she goes, "All right, cut her off." And I thought that banter was a little bit funny, and I think that helped it redeem a little bit. But I want to hear from you guys. We'll start with Jesse.
I think that this episode actually showed like not only Picard being a really good leader, where he's just like, no, we're shutting this shit down with a nickname, and you guys are gonna try harder to like find common ground with this person that you unilaterally decided you don't like. It was also nice to see Geordi sort of also struggle with being a manager, which is hard. I felt this is a very like workplace growth episode kind of. I also, of course, love that Patrick Stewart and Brett Spiner and LeVar Burton get to ham it up in the holodeck. They're having the fucking time of their lives. They
were having a blast. You could tell.
3 seconds away from laughing. Like, especially like Brett Spiner is just like, yes, let me ham it to 1,000. And I'm like,
yeah,
I love watching you guys have a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
And then lastly, just Guinan being like, fitting in is for squares, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just too cool. I love that. I'm like, yeah, who wants to fit in?
All right, Lark.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I feel like I meant to say earlier but didn't is that I think that what makes me not feel as skeeved out by the like Troy and Crusher stuff on the holodeck is the fact that he gets called out for it and seems to be like at the end he's like, I can't do this anymore, which I think is like my whole experience with this episode felt like a little gift of like, what if we had a Star Trek Hope Punk future where incels can get better is like my thing that makes me be like, what?
You're saying you're an insult, but we'll fix it. I like that.
I mean, like, what if community came together and we're like, hey man, this isn't it. Don't do this. But like, there is a space for you. We do actually want you here, and like for someone to be able to receive that. And I think that's like one of the things that I really like about it. And also that I know it's tiny, right? Like getting transferred off the ship is like a tiny form of punishment. But my biggest issue with the Star Trek future is with the way that justice is. I'm doing quotes, but I'm not on justice.
You don't see what happened.
Being court-martialed. We have penal colonies. In the original series, we still have the death penalty. It's like the one place that they couldn't push themselves into as much of the good future that we want as I always want them to. And so this episode feels like a teeny tiny microcosm of like, what does like restorative justice look like? What does it look like for someone in your community to behave badly and to say, we're going to deal with this by calling you in, by saying, we don't like this behavior, but you don't have to go away. You're not in trouble. We're not kicking you off the ship. We're going to like help you go to therapy. We're going to help you find friends. We're going to help you find good, useful ways to like use that imagination. And I just really like that. I think that makes this episode very good, actually.
So as a rating, as you know, the IMDb does have these episodes rated. Now, I'm going to look it up and we're going to see where it falls. So I'm curious to think, where would you place this in the realm of 1 to 10?
Who are you asking?
Lark.
Okay.
Oh,
You said you highly rated it, so I want to know where.
I just heard.
Scale, like, where would you put it?
Heard "Hey You." What do you
oh
think?
gosh.
We're all "Hey You."
No.
I feel like I'm like so generous with these shows. I feel like every filler episode, I'm like at the beginning of our podcast, I'm like, stop right now and go watch it if you didn't just watch it. It's fantastic. It's a great use of your time. So I don't know. Like I'll give it 7.
Oh, okay. Very generous. You know what it got rated? 7.7.
I do
So-
know that.
Oh, you knew that?
I almost said that, and I was like, that would be too silly. Yes, I did. I saw that.
Now, one of the things that's really interesting about when you watch season 3 of Star Trek, this is the growing the beard season where kind of things really got kicking off into really cool motion, and the show really finds its rhythm. This also has one of the highest rated episodes in all of Star Trek, and that is Yesterday's Enterprise. So if you're watching this as I watched it as a kid, Yesterday's Enterprise came on first and this came on later. It wasn't in sequential order as they're listed. So after watching Yesterday's Enterprise, and then I watched this, I was like, what? Where's Yar? What? The Romulans, and I just kind of like was like here, and then you went that way. So that's why I've always had an issue with this one, because of where you're watching it. And then of course the Sarek episode comes on after that. So I was like, bruh. So I always had a little bit of a difficulty kind of letting this one slide. But yeah, I was very surprised to learn that this got such a high rating. So you're not alone. And I just wanted to let you know that you were generous but warranted. A lot of people agree with you. So Jason and I don't, but we have our reasons which we've shared. We're gonna just you want to say something, Jesse? Or
Oh, I just feel like I'm sure a lot of Star Trek fans can identify with having a lot of social anxiety.
For sure.
Just gonna be generous with that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially back then. We got a couple of comments before we actually let's go to Aftermath. We're not going to spin the wheel of agony because we're going to dive into X-Files in our Wormholes episode in 2 weeks, where Jason takes the helm and controls the Captains Quadrant to bring us up the wormhole into another sci-fi legacy show, X-Files. What were we going to say, Jason?
Love that show.
It's so good.
I was just going to start singing, Jason, take the wheel.
Isn't it Jesus? Anyway.
It was.
It was. All right, let's get into the Aftermath.
We were just talking about you. Everybody hates you. Congratulations.
All right, just want to say hello to a couple of friends, and then we're going to give the floor to you guys. Yeah, anxiety does suck sometimes, but we can get through this together. That's awesome. I can't lie, Jesse. I think you nailed it. Look at that. You got a new fan there. And unless you guys already know that person, then your fan just said hello. Our good buddies at the Scuttlebutt podcast, Star Wars podcast, that other Star franchise. I stopped watching the show last week. I just can't anymore. I think are you talking about Starfleet Academy? Because we were off last week with the agony bit, so I'm pretty sure you're talking about, and you wouldn't come on and talk smack like that. Just come over in your life. Timmy 2 times says Barclay's one of the best written characters in TNG, hands down. Interesting. Okay. Co-writer Eric Stillwell is a cool dude. Yesterday's Enterprise was great. It really was. Yesterday's Enterprise, like I said, top 10 episodes of all Star Trek. It was just such a brilliant episode. Yesterday's Enterprise introduced one of the best ships ever, the Ambassador class. Yes, I totally agree. You can see a very tiny, tiny version of it right there behind me. If you've got those eagle eyes, or you zoom, you can see my little model of the Enterprise C, excuse me. All right, we have the amazing ability to reach out into the ether and speak with some other wondrous podcasts, and that would be you guys. Choose amongst yourself who goes first, but tell us about your podcast. Tell us about yourselves, and what's your blood type? No, I'm kidding. Good, but
Jokes on you, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Nobody knows. Unbelievable. All right, but whoever goes first, go first. But we'd love to hear from about you and from you.
So our podcast, The Gale Planet, is we're watching The Next Generation in order. We also have another podcast called Escape from Reality, where we've been reading YA novels that bring us a lot of joy, and we're just finishing up really excellent series, the Sunbearer Trials, and then moving that podcast to Patreon.
Oh, there you go. Smart move.
And we have some other podcasts that we no longer do, but have an excellent back catalog of. We have the Gay Pirate podcast, where we watched all of Our Flag Means Death.
Love that.
Which was an excellent show, RIP. And in general, all of our podcasts and offerings are us being hilarious and gay and ruthlessly analytical about our media. So, and we have a Patreon, #Ruthless at Patreon, where we have, again, years of back catalogs and also episodes where we talk about current movies. The last movie we talked about, which our patrons get to vote on, was Legally Blonde. Is that the last one that we watched?
That was the last one that we watched.
That was as long as the movie itself, because we always love that movie. We also have cool merch and a sticker club that is fandom agnostic and also covers the fandoms that we talk about. And Lark, did I miss anything?
I think you nailed it. Yeah. #ruthless.com would be the best place to find all of those things, because we do too many things. Like all that stuff that Jesse just said, it's like just the two of us and our friend Elise, who helps with like 6 hours a month of work. That's just like involves a spreadsheet, so I can't do it. We just take on we just get excited and start a new podcast like all the time, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
We're diving into this. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Fantastic. So what got you guys into Star Trek? I'm just curious.
Ooh,
you didn't know that there was going to be a small interview part of this, but I'm going to let you know now.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, so we started.
No, people like us. 5,300 people like us. Go ahead.
We started off back in 2019 as a Harry Potter podcast, and obviously had to stop being a Harry Potter podcast because
I don't know. I heard that woman that wrote it has some issues, but we're not going to
a couple, just a few,
a couple issues. So yeah, back in 2022, we were like, we cannot keep talking about this anymore. But by that point, making podcasts was already my job, like the thing that I do to pay my bills. So we went to our patrons and we're like, so here are some options, and Star Trek was the one that won, and great, let's do it. So
interesting
and excellent for us, because there is so much Star Trek to watch, and thankfully we both really love Star Trek. We've watched, I think you've watched more of it than I have at this point, but we've both definitely watched most, if not all, of the shows, of the Star Trek shows.
Yeah.
So,
what's your favorite so far?
I grew up watching The Next Generation. Voyager still holds a special place in my heart as something I watched a lot in high school.
We're the same age. Look at that.
And I feel like Voyager and the X-Files are part of my bisexual awakening, so I kind of like special place in my heart. Though I do think, honestly, Lower Decks is the best Star Trek show. So
yeah,
I love that show.
I love that show.
Animation versus bad CGI. Animation's going to win every time.
It's easier to do the animation for sure. For sure. All right, Lark, what's your favorite Trek?
All right. Of the new stuff, I don't think I can. Well, the first 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks are probably tied in that I have like watched them 700,000 times. Of the old stuff, I think at this point, I can't choose between The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine in terms of which I like more. They are neck and neck for me.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
but I'm loving Starfleet Academy, and I would love to fight any of your people in this chat who want to complain about it.
You're
wrong and bad. So
you should come to our comment section after the episode and say, "Fight me," and you'll get like bing, 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 bing.
I won't though, because I block everyone who says anything bad.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
I think it's really funny to not feed them.
Yeah, no, it's okay. If you can say things that I can't because it's my channel, so you can go voice free and just go in. I give you full carte blanche. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we're gonna have the issue that a lot of Trek has, and that's when it first comes out. There's always and as time goes on, this is really good. I think we're going to find that is going to happen for Starfleet Academy, as it did for Deep Space Nine, as it did for Voyager. Oh, the first black guy just sitting on the ship, or the first woman got lost. There's all these comments which is unnecessary. And
it's very much like Star Trek is woke, and it's like, what have you been drinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? Star Trek is woke from day one, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will say my one complaint with new Star Trek is that they're not pushing the envelope as hard as it did in the 60s, where it's like, if you want to be on top of like having a black person and a Chinese person on a national television show being rad, you got to have like trans people, you got to have like other marginalized people like front and center. And the new Trek is not quite, they're not quite as pushing the envelope as much as the OG series, and I'm like, we should be. So.
Interesting thought. Because I'm trying to think. Like I know there is no transgender person on the show. I mean, there was the bartender was no, she's a drag.
And there was the drag queen person on the Strange New Worlds for like one episode, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna meet that wonderful person. Yeah, Angel. We're gonna hang out with her in Trek Long Island, so be sure to buy your tickets, friends.
That's cool.
I'll be on stage with somebody. We're gonna have a blast talking with them. Last year we got to hang out with Garrick, which was amazing.
Wow.
So
cool. Andrew Robinson. I don't know. I love him as Garrick. Andrew Robinson was incredible. Such a brilliant person and such a loving person. And what an experience chatting with him before we got on stage and had the conversation for the Trek people as us. But wow. And we're hopefully
the fact after we got off stage and he just like pulled us both into a hug and was like, "Thank you for this experience." I was like, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, it was incredible.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, never going to get that. So yeah, be sure to get those tickets, friends. We have 2 more comments before we go. Yesterday's Enterprise. I said that one already. It's this one. I like Lower Decks because it reminds me of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Was that the same creator or?
Yeah, he was one of the writers.
Mike McMahon. Yeah.
I think he was one of the writers on Rick and Morty. But I liked Lower Decks because it was not nihilistic like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty's got a very pessimistic view about it. And I'm a huge fan of the show because whenever you tune in, you know what you're getting. But at the same time, I loved Lower Decks because it was so positive at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely more hopeful.
For sure. Well, friend, I thank you so much for you guys coming here and hanging out with us in the Agony booth, which wasn't so agonist for you. You guys had a good time. We got to come up. Maybe we'll do Code of Honor again and bring you back.
Oh no!
I mean,
you can just play our podcast episode like live on the air, and you'll hear.
Oh my god!
It's gotta be one.
I think it's that one.
If I have to watch that episode again, I will say the F word.
Not this again. But you gotta give Tasha Yar credit for ripping that guy's eye out. So
that was a cool scene, and the fact that nobody mentions it just like, oh yes, Tasha's ripped out another eyeball.
I mean, honestly, good for
Tasha.
If your fans want to listen to me and Jesse talk about an episode that we're like, oh my god, fuck this, I did literally 1 hour before I got on here put up our episode about Up the Long Ladder. So
Cool.
Oh,
there's that, you know.
Oh, wow. We haven't done that one.
It's not the fact that it's just the stereotyping; it's the fact that it's so freaking boring. Also, it just doesn't work on any level.
It is a very nearly unwatchable hour of television.
Yeah, it is. I think equal to or maybe more bad than Code of Honor. Honestly, it's just like,
now
God.
I really gotta watch it. I don't remember this one.
It's the one with the Irish people, where
Yeah,
they're like,
it's-
"Oh, Mr. LaForge, I tried to make a campfire here in the middle of the
Jesse's trying to not be plunged
yeah.
into darkness and
what
what feeling.
Oh no! Oh
It's
no!
a live chicken. This
Well,
is our
see-
special effects budget of the day.
Well, I'm gonna say goodnight, everybody. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. We hope
Thank
to see
you
you.
for
in the
having
future. Oh, there's the
us.
light. Okay, good. I was feeling bad. I was like, oh
The
no.
light's on a timer in there. This happens.
Oh, they're on a
anytime.
timer.
I
Okay.
thought you abandoned us. Okay.
I thought she was like, well, you're talking about that episode? Click. Goodbye. Can't handle that anymore. Jesse, Lark, thank you so much. It has been absolutely joyful. Way better than this episode rewatch. To hang out with you guys in the Captains Quadrant. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I almost said next week. Tomorrow, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. We're diving into Starfleet Academy with the old man that yells at Trek. You can watch what he probably didn't like about the episode as a teaser over on the Jason Gaston channel. Yeah, and then we'll just see you tomorrow. Please like, share, and subscribe, and consider joining our Patreon like these fine folks have.